Single me out, Josh. I'm gonna do this right now because I just thought about it. Because I don't want to hear it. This is what I want to say.
You gonna hear it, but go ahead.
No, I'm not gonna hear it. Am I single, Josh? Listen, we got Mandy and Wheezy from the artist formerly known as the Whoreible Decisions podcast on today. Decision. Their book is titled No Holds Barred. Sorry.
It's okay.
And a dual manifesto of sexual exploration and power. This episode is a lot. If you don't feel like being a part of a lot, it's a good time, but it's also a lot. If that ain't your cup of tea, don't watch this week. Don't drink.
Don't drink the
Pass. If you're interested, I done told you. This is what we talk about, and we ain't gonna censor these ladies as they promoting their book, because there's some people in here who be like, I want to know about the holes.
Yes.
This episode
And
for
we
you.
tell you about the holes.
If you don't want to know about
All
the
of them.
holes, watch the bonus or come back next Wednesday.
There you go.
But if you get in here and you don't like it, and I done told you, I don't want to hear it.
You really sound like a pastor.
I don't want to hear it.
You know
I'm
what?
42 years old. I can talk to who I want to talk to. If you don't like it, then go to the next episode.
There's a whole chapter about one particular hole.
And 5, 4, 3, 2. What up, yo? Welcome to Here's the Thing. I'm Kev on stage. She's.
That chick angel.
Welcome to another podcast episode. Smash that like button, smash that notification button. Welcome to the podcast.
Nah, bitch, we got try something.
Yeah.
Get ready, come on. We just doing decisions with a plan. Hey.
We have the podcast formerly known as Whoreible Decisions. Decisions. Mandy B and Wheezy WTF. Please welcome them to the podcast. You know we don't do guests that often, but they are promoting their new book, No Holds Barred, a dual manifesto of sexual exploration and power.
Boom.
Co-host of
Let me tell
Decisions.
We,
And
for
did
the
it.
first time in almost a decade of having a show, have a PR team now.
Oh.
And it's so crazy how much we have to learn how to promote, because we just naturally go on a show. People find you. That's the promo when your podcast is cross promo.
Yes.
But it's different now.
It's very different.
It's a little
They did a
different.
mock interview, and Mandy and I are just talking. And she's like, "Yeah." And not one time did you say the book name. I was like,
Oh.
Yeah, I feel a little famous now. Like, we got media trained. Whoa.
Okay.
What
come
is that
on.
like? I've never been
I'm not
media
gonna lie.
trained.
It lets me know how the Florida education school system has failed me.
Oh, okay.
Like, just the questions flowing in and removing ums, and really being able to either simplify an answer or really remember the question
Right.
when you are answering. Because that's the thing, like, as podcasters, we're long form. We'll keep it going. We'll keep it flowing.
how to
And all of
divert
that.
a little question. One
Yeah.
thing we were worried about is like being asked on a podcast, especially when we want to celebrate such a big thing. Oh, well, tell us about the drama.
All the drama.
So we're like,
Yeah.
okay, well, how do we get around that? She's like, well, you know what? We choose to work together because we have the same goal in mind.
Yeah. My first question was going to be about the drama.
His first question was gonna be about, so how you bitches?
So wait a minute, why don't they want y'all to talk about the drama? Drama sells.
No.
I mean, drama does sell.
To be honest, talking with y'all is a little different, I think, about drama, because maybe like yesterday I was a little nervous.
Were you?
Because that audience be like, fuck them hoes, they don't fuck with each other. Like, I don't know what they're going to say. And it's not Terrell or Heather. They're
Yeah.
great. But
Yeah.
sometimes you just
Their
don't know
audience.
how things will be received.
Yeah.
And if we're going to have an intelligent conversation about drama with people, or how working together can be difficult, I'd rather do it with people that can receive it well, instead of make me feel worse.
I mean, to me,
Okay.
people are just unrealistic. Let's be honest. Like, we done watched Behind the Music enough times to see what the hell happened with our favorite boy groups and
Right.
girl groups and all the things. And for the audience listening, they listen to us, right? We're entertainers. We come in here together. We built this brand for the last 8 years. But like, bitch, when you go to work, do you like your coworkers every day? Maybe not. Like, when you got to work on a school project, does one person annoy you that doesn't? Like,
course.
like
Yeah.
we're humans, so we have our ups and downs, like, everybody else does. We come together, we'll fight, we fucking hate each other, and then we'll like leave.
I didn't say that.
But
What you mean you fucking hate me? What happened?
but then what's dope is like there's moments where we'll be like, dang, today really did well. Wheezy, we killed that. Like, damn, like this is dope. Like, we still have such an understanding and respect for each other, but we also
This is the
like doing
easiest
this
part.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
You know, like,
it's
I tell people that
it's
all
the
the
business shit
time.
behind.
when people say things like, I don't know how you show up if y'all fight. I'd be like, bruh, because I'm
We don't
really
fight on the mic
professional.
all the time.
You know what's funny? So Angel and I, and Angel more than I, we both work in the film industry.
Okay.
I
didn't know where it was
people
going.
on set, they hate each other, and then it's action.
Yeah.
And the actors don't necessarily. I mean, when my son did Little Rascals, the director was arguing with the DP, the producer, and I'm talking about full yelling, actors yelling, and they're
Wait,
like
in front of the kids?
front of the kids.
Oh yeah.
Cussing,
It is what it is.
fussing. They were losing light.
They know how to fake shit well.
And then
dog.
they said, and we're gonna go for one, roll, action, and the people do their
I
jobs.
mean, we've been seeing it now. What was the movie with Blake Lively and the other person?
Oh, that whole
Justin
Anna
Baldoni.
Kendrick?
Bro,
Or
they
the
had,
Justin?
they had like full blown like love and sex scenes, and we learned after the fact that was brutal. They
Yeah.
weren't really liking each
'Cause
other.
they're-
But
you
then
figure
they
out-
also didn't like the director. So
That's why when y'all be like, oh, they must have gotten in a fight today. We're not actresses. Oh, yeah, we did.
You are correct.
you can feel the tension because it's there.
You are accurate.
Read the letter, Mandy.
We're not actresses.
So for those of people who do not know you all, how did y'all
Yes.
come together to create y'all's podcast 8 years ago?
Oh, so 8 years ago, I
You
like
did
to
change
share the
it. I
story.
answered.
No,
I'm just
why? I like this.
I was joking.
I
Go
like
ahead.
the answer better because she be leaving details out.
Okay.
He was
'cause I
not
like
your man, girl.
Okay, wait.
He was my boyfriend.
Okay, but you see,
and we
media
were on a
training.
break.
Media training. She
Media
said,
training.
She didn't say we do it for Black Podcast.
No, but media training.
She said for Black Podcast, we can just be out.
Media training is also listening to the question. She
okay.
said 8 years ago, how do we start the podcast? Not how we met, bitch.
I don't know.
So 8 years ago, we started the podcast.
I love it.
We had rekindled. I had been living in New York. Weezy had just moved back up to New York, and we always shared mutual friends. So we had stopped talking for a while, but when she moved back up, we were both in corporate. Everyone's like, yo, y'all both live in New York. Why would y'all not like reunite and hang out again? And so we hung out, and what's ironic is I had hooked her up with a guy like years before, and he happened to be working in New York. And so I was like, oh girl, I bet you gonna have sex with him again. So we made a bet. The bet was that she would have sex with him within like 3 months. Well, she didn't, and so I had to take her to dinner. Well, over this dinner, it also happened to be like the night after, or maybe the week after, she did a podcast with one of her coworkers. And she was like, yo, I really liked this. And I thought about who's a hoe like me where I could get on a mic
I love
and
that.
share
Who
our
hasn't had
stories.
that thought?
Yeah.
And then, hold on. So then
During
we're
this.
thinking about what we're gonna talk about, right? So the following week before we go to record, I have a one night stand and the condom gets missing in my vagina.
Okay.
For like 2 days, I can't find
Oh,
it. So then she
God.
takes me to her gyno that's up in Midtown, and she's like, perfect, this is the first episode. You getting a condom pulled out of your
Your
vagina.
vagina.
This is perfect.
Everybody's had that. Haven't you?
What, had a no.
Oh, I just saw this.
No. Yeah, and
You ain't never had a condom stuck?
No.
Girl, you don't need
Well,
I was walking on the wild side. I was very monogamous, but also who wants to use a condom?
Oh, goodness. Oh, girl, I do.
Well, because you not to judge, you got more bodies than me. My body count is smaller.
I've been gagged. But you know what? Invalid.
Yeah, that's
I'm
that's
sure.
what- yeah.
I'm sure you have you're married now?
This church
Yeah.
podcast. What you mean? You only had two?
3.
You've only had 3 bodies your whole life?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
J. Cole said you got to multiply it by 3.
With J. Cole,
So you
nigga,
had 9 bodies.
We don't do the same math.
How old were you when you got married?
I was 27.
Damn,
And you only had.
I think, y'all don't know this podcast. We are 2 church kids.
No,
Yeah,
we
I
know you're two
but,
church kids, but
so
still.
is Sarah Jakes Roberts and a lot of other.
we lived a different life than
But I'm
Sarah.
just saying, like,
I'll
church
be honest
kids-
with you, the stories in this book is probably all before 27.
I was about to say a lot of them, but like a lot
How
of
y'all
people.
gonna unslut shame me? What is that? I can't slut shame y'all, but y'all gonna be like, bitch, how come you
You
ain't
know
the
what's
first?
crazy,
Peer
actually?
pressure's fun.
I was in the missions. I was a part of the missionaries.
Oh, well, I'm
where
sure
I had
they
to.
was-
No! Don't do that.
Okay, well,
how you talk about your own people now?
Okay, because I do know my people. But go ahead. Go
I
ahead.
really
But
thought all
every-
the girls that went to church were
Every
hoes. That's all.
Wednesday,
lot of
every
them are.
Wednesday, I had to go to church and memorize scriptures from the Bible, and they did it like Girl Scouts. And every time you went up and memorized one, you got a little
You got a little
patch on your
Those outfits supposed to be
No,
sexy.
they were blue like knitted skirts or kilted skirts that went below the knee with a white button up. I'm gonna have my mama send the picture so maybe we can
And
just.
they gave you patches
And
for
they gave
each scripture.
for each scripture.
Now imagine if we had patches
Come
for
on.
all the things we accomplished.
Oh my God.
I'll go first.
Please tell us.
Would y'all have a patch
Let's do a game.
if
When you want to know who ain't gonna get no patches? Us.
No, let's start vanilla.
Let's play, though.
Let's do vanilla patches.
have you ever played a different person in the bedroom?
Role
Would
play.
you have a patch?
I would have a patch.
I have a patch.
I don't. I just play myself, Kevin.
Oh my God.
I'm a method actor. I'm like Vince Vaughn. I show up as Vince Vaughn
Every time.
Every time.
Like Denzel.
Okay.
Yeah, Denzel.
Denzel shows up as himself.
Get your hands off me.
Oh, no.
Glory from Glory to American Gangster.
I was gonna say to Gladiator.
To Gladiator.
I have never watched a movie set in Rome where a nigga from Brownsville pulled up. I'm just saying.
no accent.
there you have.
He's like, what's wrong?
There was
nigga?
no accent.
Hold on, wait. We need a question. Who were you in bed?
Ooh.
Were you a nurse?
Were you a nurse? Were you? I have done that. Yes.
You been a nurse?
Yeah.
That is so slutty. Look, I just want to try to put shit on you for the day. I want to.
Thank you.
No, I ain't gonna.
Okay. Something else vanilla, I would say.
Okay.
Is
I like vanilla. Vanilla's good ice cream.
have you ever been choked?
Oh my God.
Like how far choked out?
Wait, girl, look.
We didn't know there was
still
levels,
here.
girl.
You still here.
No. Like there are some people who like to be choked to almost being unconscious. That's not
Just
fun to
choke.
me.
Just choke.
Church tight
Church
pressure.
person choke.
Just choke.
just
Church
tight
person choke.
Just tight,
Just
you
tight
know, like,
pressure.
Hit me and kill me. But you know what I'm saying? I can breathe,
Yes, that's a fan favorite.
Have you? Okay.
I love choke.
Have you ever been choked?
I love the Lord, guys. Don't hurt me. Why would you hurt me?
Wait, so you don't choke either?
No, I love you. I don't want to choke you. I
trying
don't
to
want
think
to hurt you. I'm like the Joker. Why would I hurt you?
Why would I do
No, I
that?
don't
The
choke.
Joker being the
Real
example
question.
is crazy.
Was sex freakier for y'all before marriage?
No.
No.
Oh.
No.
No.
Now that's one thing that was the church kind of tricked me the wrong way
Right.
on that. They made it seem like marriage was boring and or married sex was all boring and stuff. I have found in my personal love life, there's a certain freedom you have
Very
with,
much so.
with a person that you have long-term freedom and trust that expands beyond the bedroom, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you trust that person in all avenues of life,
Yeah.
then your freedom in the bedroom is more. I think before I had sex, I feel like I was the most worried about how I would perform and if she would get pregnant. That was like one
Right.
and two. And then it's like, what's she gonna tell her friends and stuff like that?
Right.
All that stuff is in my mind. And it wasn't a lot of sex. I only had like 3 bodies. So I ain't gonna-
Like, we got low counts over here.
I got married.
I'm not that high.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you are.
If the digit is double, is it high?
Girl.
It's whoever wants to judge
It
you.
depends what that first number
we live in
is.
New York. It's different. Now, if I
Because
lived,
the dicks are just being thrown at you. Like, what is the difference?
Like, what's
Yeah.
the difference?
Oh, she's like, yeah. It's like,
I literally have to hold up the shield.
Hot dog carts.
But I'll be honest with you. When I was working a 9 to 5 in the office, I couldn't walk down the street, bro. I'd be like, who's this nigga? Like, it was just everybody, bro. The security guard downstairs. It was a lot of people. But I think why I say that,
She said, oh.
okay.
in New York, you're walking a lot. You're doing a lot of events to get you out of your house. Like, nobody wants to be cooped up in the house, so you're going downstairs to eat. People hang out alone in New York a lot.
Yeah.
And they say, for single people listening out there, this is the best advice I've heard, and I truly believe it. Going out by yourself, ladies, gets you approached more. People feel more inclined to talk to you. Men and women, friends are made that way. Because when you're in a duo, it's just like, all right, well, now I got to talk to a friend, but I'm by myself. What do I do? It's like almost more pressure.
Yeah.
So being alone, I mean, I just always met people.
And
Interesting.
in New York, you
Not
could,
saying I'd always fuck them.
No.
You-
Yeah.
No, but we didn't.
you could go out in New
Just
York
a
and run
latte
into
today,
somebody.
sir.
It's crazy. It's crazy
Just a matcha for
because I
today.
actually want to add a little bit of something to New York that's brought up in the book. For me, New York introduced me
Media
to.
training.
Good
That was
job.
so
I
good.
saw that. She wrapped that thing around. I'm very proud.
That was so good.
It was.
Go ahead,
loved it.
please. Media training. Florida,
It's
Florida's getting pushed down.
Yeah.
But go ahead, please.
No, so in one of my chapters specifically, I talk about how New York was able to bring like a community to me that I would have never gotten anywhere else. And now this might be a little much to your audience, but
No, everybody ain't like us.
Well, it introduced me to the lifestyle community. So I have
They don't
a
know
whole.
what that means.
I have a whole
Is
chapter.
that like poly people?
poly people, swingers, sex clubs, dungeons. So I have a whole chapter that talks about my 3 times at a dungeon.
3?
Y'all really mean no holds barred. This is, I ain't gonna hold you. 3 out of 4 I had heard of. Dungeons is new.
I was looking at Kev to see what his
No
face
dragons.
did. Dungeons and Dragons.
Not Atlanta. Not Dungeons and Dragons. No Rico Wade.
3 times. 3 more times, she get a free admission.
You gonna get a sandwich. You get 2 more watch cards.
Okay, so
Go ahead,
what
sorry.
was great about this is I'm like, whoa, in what other city do I have a friend who owns like a studio dungeon to be able to bear witness to such things?
Bear witness?
So I first met, so what's crazy
Let's
is.
hold it real quick, and I hate to do this.
Yes, go ahead.
Well, what's the dungeon?
Okay.
Is it like chains and fire?
Wait a minute,
Yeah.
before she
Or
goes
just
into
holes,
that,
holes.
before she goes into that, we're going to kick it to our first ad, Cash App.
Don't you hate when you are waiting to receive money and it takes days? You sitting there looking, the person's like, no, I sent it to you. I sent it to you. You like, but it ain't in my account. Why am I having to wait? Or they want to charge you to send money. Why you need my 3.5% to send this money? This money ain't yours. It's the person I'm sending it to. Well, listen. You can now send money easy without any fees with Cash App. And first of all, it is so fast and easy and safe. And you can receive and transfer money to family and friends. It's super simple to set up. And you don't even have to put any bank info in there at all. I know mine is not attached to a bank account, and there's no waiting. Soon as you send the money's there. So if somebody sends me money, I know it's going to show up because that's what I wanted. It's secure and safe. They have your back. There's no sketchy like accounts, or there's also a scam warning pop up. So that lets you know, don't you send this money because who is this person? All right. So you can feel more relaxed when sending money. And excuse me, you can customize your payments to friends. Like you can do a custom text or a stamp, or you can have a background that's just yours, custom, right? I love using Cash App because it is so safe, it is so fast, and it makes me sending gifts and stuff, especially to these graduates, super simple and easy. All right. For a limited time only, new Cash App users can use their exclusive code to earn, or our exclusive code to earn some additional cash for real. No, there's no catch. Just download the Cash App and sign up. Use our exclusive referral code, here's the thing, in your profile and send $5 to a friend within 14 days and you'll get $10 dropped right into your account. Terms apply. That's money. That's Cash App.
And we're back.
Okay. So a dungeon is a place that normally you have like, there's a mistress or a dom or a madam, whatever she calls herself, who runs it. And there's all the equipment in the world that you could possibly think of. People call them toys, but to me, they're equipment. They're extravagant. Like in this particular one, you have everything from a basic like dildo and chastity cage all the way up to
chastity cage.
I mean, okay, chastity cage isn't basic, but I got to use one, so I feel like I didn't, it's
I would
vanilla
actually
down.
describe it for people that are super vanilla or maybe aren't into this at all.
It's
if
a
you
room
watched
with
50 Shades of Grey.
I was just gonna say that, but I
and you
want
got
to be
to
wrong.
see that room.
Yeah,
It's that.
Got
A
it.
dungeon would be described as that room, and people can rent this out, like couples can go enjoy
Yes.
it, or dominatrixes can take their clients there.
and do lessons.
There was a
things
Netflix
like that.
show. The lady built sex dungeon.
Yes.
like that.
Yes.
Okay,
Do
I
you
was
all
watching
have
that.
drawings in the book so we know what you're talking
So what's
about?
crazy is, and listen, because we know that our people like free shit, we actually did that. So if you pre-order the book, No Holds Barred, there's a Google form to fill out. You just upload your receipt, and we did a masterclass. And in that masterclass,
I saw y'all do a masterclass.
I go to the exact dungeon that I talk about in the book. So I sit there and I go through all of like the contraptions that she has, and I talk about what safe ways to use them, but also if you don't have the money to afford the really nice ones, what household items you could use. So like instead of a flogger, you could use a spatula.
Come on, hats.
Is it, I was getting all that. Okay.
We all ain't got that $30 here.
You know what? So basically, I talk about like going to this dungeon and how like I got to really view the art of pleasure as art. So the first time I went, my good friend King Noir, who is an amazing performer, sex worker, he owns his own film production. He was going there to be taught by the owner of the studio how to flog safely with all of these different things and how to suspend on a rig. At the time, I was maybe like 200 pounds, and I was like, oh, motherfuckers can't even lift me up. She said, let me show you. And she actually suspended me and was teaching him like all of these dope ways on how to like spank and smack and all that. So that was dope. Second time I went, it was a tech conference happening in New York. And me and these like 7 Black women all got together in this space and shared all about our traumas, our sexual experiences, the things we wanted to do. Mind you, in this space that is like, literally like there's a cage sitting on the counter. There's like nothing but flogs and dildos everywhere. And I'm like, oh, this is dope. Third time
I was talking about sex.
And we were talking about
I was
sex.
just like, girl, when I was 11.
So first 2 times I didn't even have sex. Then the third time I went, I brought my partner.
Okay.
Because we wanted to experience things together. And so we said, okay, let's go in there and do things that we've never done before. His was a chastity cage where I fit his
Penis
into a whole like metal cage where he couldn't get hard. It was locked up and everything. Medieval time type of thing. And then what I wanted to do, what I didn't want to do, but he's like, trust me, was electrocute my pussy.
Okay.
So,
All right.
They said, and this is the biracial side of the
and so I
ambiguous looking Black
I
women.
allowed him to like put currents all
Into your-
inside of me.
Have you all had children?
Angel.
No, but I
just
Hold on. Hold.
The electrocute your
Electro
pussy.
play.
You gotta.
No, I kind of thought I was prepared.
Oh, you thought?
The No Host Barred might be the best title for a book.
now I really want to see it.
I'm 42. I done seen movies. I done seen some
See,
stuff.
movies is crazy.
We know we had on the Love Hour. We had some sex experts
movies
and
ain't
stuff.
enough.
I didn't know
That
he
you
was
could
Thomas Edison to plug up the coochie, turn it on.
You know, you can also put fire inside. So basically,
This is why I said, have y'all not had kids? They don't have children. Because why would you do this to your pussy?
I mean, I'm looking to family plan in the next 2 to 3 years, but all of this stuff is
felt great.
no different than you have to.
How do you get fire in a coochie though?
So basically,
Yeah, I'm curious to that. I didn't know that.
So basically, what they do, like the guy that does fire. So
It goes inside even when it's wet.
So no, he lights the hand or the tools on fire, heats them, and then puts it inside.
No, I don't even like pap smears. And y'all doing all this magic and shit.
We had him on.
But
So marvelous.
Mine felt really good. Like I actually had to tell him to stop because it felt like 8 alien tongues inside of me at once. And I was like, oh my God, like I'm waiting for the aliens.
The electrocution?
When you say the cution, it sounds a lot. Just say electro play.
Bitch, you said electrocute.
Electro.
No,
Honey, it doesn't sound better.
Electrocuted my pussy. That's what you
did
said.
I say electrocuted? It was electro play.
I feel like she
okay,
understand. You said electrocute me.
I had electric currents inside of my vagina.
Also, by the way, I had a thing called pelvic floor therapy. I was having issues just with like vaginismus. So any women listening that have ever felt tightness or something. So what they do is they put a wand inside of you that actually has the
I
same
got those
thing.
from Harry Potter movies.
Yo, you know
Exactly.
what?
That's it. That's how it looks.
Expelliarmus.
So be honest. Pussy honest.
And there goes the title.
But okay, so
Go
wait a
tell us
minute.
about
So,
vaginismus.
So yeah, a gynecologist actually carries this, and it's called PVT, pelvic floor therapy, for women that are having issues. A lot of women actually have the issues after children to
Right.
get for tightness. Mine was trauma related, and I couldn't release. Like my body was just tight. So it was the same thing, and I didn't really realize it until maybe the third time she was using it. I was like, "Is this just electrocution?" So when I read Mandy's electrocution story, I'm like, "You could have got that coming right."
Electro play.
she said it's electro play.
I got my health savings card. Light my coochie up. With
That's crazy.
I'll be like, Marcus,
It was-
get your electrician tools back out. We about to do
car
something
battery.
kinky.
And put the black on the
Kevin
back,
Gates.
red on the other one.
Anyways, full circle.
Please, yes.
That's what New York brings to you is the sex life. Not as many dicks that are thrown at her face, but it brought me community.
And this is why we fight.
We
We're gonna be in therapy 3 years from now and be like, "You remember that church podcast we did?"
So let me ask you, when you guys wrote the book, is it like each of you wrote a chapter and you
Yes.
didn't even know until the other one read it? Or did
So
you guys
no,
go over what you did?
The book is broken up into 4 parts. So you
Okay.
got pain, pleasure, progression, and power. What
Power of the P. See what we did there?
Ooh, I love it. Big old energy.
Hello?
Big O's.
Pussiana, what was it again?
Women, what's the Harry Potter word? Then I'll give
Oh,
you
I just said Expelliarmus.
Pussyamous.
Yeah.
Pussiamas.
There we go.
So when we were creating it, we knew the stories we wanted to put in, but we were like, how's it going to match? And what's really cool, too, is like the pain chapters, there's BDSM talk in there, but then there's talk about assault, abortion, just heartbreak pain. So like it can go in either way. But Jesus and Mero's book was one that they mentioned to us. But we're under Charlemagne's imprint, and they talked about how, okay, they went back and forth with chapters. Y'all should try this.
Yeah.
And even the style, like they talk to each other in some of them. So we were really trying to learn, like, how will this fit the best to where it doesn't throw people off?
Yeah.
Because we have a lot of differing opinions, and the tough thing about writing a book about sex is like, damn, well, a lot of our shit isn't the same. A lot of my chapters are about dating a woman, and it's kind of different because Mandy's relationships with women were purely sexual, which actually became tea halfway through
It
writing
wasn't. See,
it.
what we gonna tell? I was mad. By the way, you know
But she
what?
was gay, that's why.
You ready? So,
she was gay.
Oh, no, we'll tell the
So
story.
no. I'm gonna tell the story.
Tell the story, 'cause I
Because the
wanna
bitch
know.
got mad at, and I'm sorry for the editor if she hear this, but I think she knew I was upset.
We like her now. She knows
I like her now, but I was like,
This is great.
so we're writing the book, and of course we get to the part where we're getting our first round of edits. And so I get all my edits back, and the editor is like questioning my sexuality in my stories. Like, yeah, I don't think you're bisexual. You talk a lot about men. Or as I'm talking about dating men, she's like, but what about women? But what about girls? But what about, and you could tell because I identified as bisexual early on in the book, and I only have one like sexual
Female
interaction,
encounter.
but it's also with a man. It's with a couple that I met in Mexico.
Okay.
So there's no other really
So Mandy
clear
would like
stories.
reference herself in other chapters, like
But
my
I say I'm
bisexuality.
bisexual. She's like, yeah, bitch, I don't think you are. And I was like, well,
What
that's
did she
how
think
I
she
read
were?
it. That's
What
how I
did
read it.
she-
She
what did
basically was like, you ate a coochie a few times, it don't count.
She said you hetero. And so I remember being so like offended, like, how is this person gonna tell me about my
Now,
sexuality?
in that lady's defense,
There's no defense.
when we were on
what
Zoom, she kind of gave, a little flim. So
okay.
I was like, okay, so she's reading Mandy and I chapters back and forth where we're
And then
both
she's loving her
identifying
whole
as
lesbian ass
bisexual.
chapter.
Oh, she was.
She's like, this is incredible. This is amazing.
I would have been pissed
Look
off
how
too.
soft this chapter reads.
She was like, you over here cosplaying as a bisexual. You don't
know
really like
crazy?
pussy like that.
The chapter about my ex-girlfriend, I didn't think was my strongest at first. I had to really get deeper. But in the first draft, I was like, damn, she thought this was good? And I'm like,
Hold on,
did
'cause
you
we-
really eat?
We got,
Yeah.
we got asked a question yesterday, and I'm mad that now today I don't know. I didn't know the answer yesterday, because let me tell you, I added it into the book because I was so pissed, and I had to read it as a pickup yesterday. But I went back into my book.
Oh, where you described it?
Oh, I described myself again, and I said, hold on, because I can't find it
this
now.
isn't even for y'all. This is for
This
that
ain't
lady.
even- this
At
is-
Simon and
Y'all make
Schuster.
sure to put the timestamp.
Okay, but basically, I said I am a queer, bisexual, abrosexual, hetero-romantic, hetero-cis woman.
Aprosexual.
So abrosexual is the one that I was like, damn, we had just learned that on the pod because
Abro means you can change.
that you could change your
What are you
sexuality.
saying?
Oh, you're
God damn it.
Y'all
I'm
gotta
trying to
stop
read
moving
what
that
they
book.
saying so I can answer
April?
questions.
Abrosexual.
Abro.
Yeah, not in a New York
okay.
way, but like abro.
But that is the word you're saying.
Abrosexual.
Okay.
So I was so like offended at her like not allowing me to claim bisexual. Bitch, I added all the letters in that bitch. I said I
said
am
you
all
gonna
types
give me
of a
all
part
of
of the
them.
alphabet
Give me the
community.
LGBT, all of-
I added
But you know what we learned
The
through
plus,
that
plus,
is
plus.
some people really only associate your sexuality with romantic feeling. So because Mandy wasn't having dialogue about loving a woman like
Yes.
I had in the book, this woman
because
was
I
like,
don't.
The soft-
I just
soft
like
chapters.
I just like
You want to have sex.
I
with
just
them
wanna have
sometimes.
sex
Mandy
with
said
them.
I have a little tequila and I'm
I could be sober and eat
I'm
coochie.
joking.
Don't do that. By the way, somebody just
Important.
asked, so pansexual. The reason why I don't identify as pansexual is because there is so many genders under the umbrella. I have not yet engaged in sex with anyone trans.
Right.
I watch that porn and I'm attracted to them, but I have not had sex with them. So that's why I personally don't identify as pansexual.
There's another thing with pansexual too, though. It's about how people make you feel and how people say they don't really see the gender in it. For me,
Oh yeah, no, I see the dick.
I see it.
I
Like
see
when
it.
I see the titties.
I see the titties.
Uh-huh.
I see the cooch. I see it.
And then when I
would
want men,
think
it's
so.
more for like the masculinity or something like that. So it's hard to describe pansexuality because it ain't personality for me. It's how
You
you
can
look.
tell y'all don't have these conversations.
No.
Oh,
You just locked
absolutely.
in and zoned out. You're like, no, I see it.
I see it.
That's what was.
I see
Y'all
the
was. It was like the world went dark, and you was like, I see it right now.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Someone said we're saying the P word too much, and that's how I know.
Yeah, we don't say pussy that often.
Do you,
Ooh, it felt
what can we
crazier when you
say?
said it.
Should we say coochie?
You can say whatever you want to
Coochie
because
is real
we want
Southern.
you to be
We want
your authentic
we want
self
you to
because
be
that's what we
absolutely.
invited.
We absolutely.
And we'll judge you when you leave.
No, we won't.
No,
It's
no,
funny
I'll
'cause
judge you right in
Josh,
front of
they
you.
said
don't
they
do
need a
that.
camera on you.
One of
Normally
the
we do it to all the
yeah. Somebody in the comments was like, "Kev's being quiet," and this is what I say. I'm actually letting the guest speak.
Yes.
When I
But we don't know how to do that.
when I be talking too much, I'll be talking too much. When I be listening, I'll be too quiet. Ain't no balance. This is for y'all.
No, audiences always will have a problem.
And no matter what
No
you do.
matter what you do.
And I'm also, this is very interesting to me because it is so different than the way I grew up and or lived. That's why I'm so curious about it.
I love that you are though. Like in one of the chapters, I talk about safety and safety being friends for me. And
Yeah.
my most non-judgmental friend is a celibate church girl. Like
Yes.
I've literally called her. My favorite story to tell about her. I was trying to figure out my feelings of jealousy because I like to invite women in my bedroom. And a few years ago with an ex-boyfriend, I called her and I was like, I just need to vent. She's like, okay, honey. I'm like, we just fucked this bitch and like she was sucking his dick and I don't know if like she was sucking his dick better than me. I don't know how I feel. And she's like, okay, just breathe.
And this is exactly why I would never be in a threesome.
She was like,
Because you would get too jealous.
Wait, seriously?
Never. And
Why?
not even two women. I have a joke about this that I'll bring back to the stage. First of all, I don't have enough rhythm. I can't
To
focus.
compete with another guy?
No, I'm
He's
talking
saying
about
two
two
women.
women.
Oh, two women. You wouldn't even do that.
No, I can't focus. I couldn't do it. I would disappoint both of you.
That
And
doesn't
also, that's a lot.
it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. I'm tired. I probably had a show, or I have a show. I got a flight, or I just got off a flight. It's too much.
It's
and the
so
fact,
much.
and then you have the insecurity, jealousy, another man. Oh my, it's two
But we-
beans.
Kev, you
We're
know what I
always
need you to do
jealous.
though?
What?
Maybe give a course on that. Do you know how many men in my past I've slept with that because they knew I liked women, wanted a threesome, and it was hard for me to communicate to them like, you could
You're not
barely
gonna be
deal
able
with
to-
one.
Yeah, you're not
like
gonna
you're
be
not
able
gonna
to do
embarrass me.
You're not built
Like, you're not built
Let me
for
tell you,
another
my niggas
person.
be saying
A lot
shit
of-
like, I'm gonna let y'all enjoy each other. No, you taking a break, boo.
Yeah.
She said, tell the truth.
I see.
You doing a time
Them
out.
strokes got
Yeah.
you
Let me
tight.
get a full,
Yeah.
actually, Rev.
Yo.
Y'all do some kissing.
And the last girl we slept with, it was like a week ago. And she was like, and her and I were really into each other. And I almost was a little worried she wasn't into him, but whatever.
Oh, you don't like my nigga now? He ain't good enough for you?
Oh, I'm over that phase. I've learned to work through jealousy.
Okay.
So she started talking to him, right? And this is a black girl, but she had this voice. She was like, yeah, fuck me harder, fuck me. And I could see his face. He got locked. So he was like, God damn it, bitch. When he finally stopped, he was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna let y'all take your time. I'm like, yeah, okay, baby. Okay, baby.
You need
This
a
nigga
rest.
went right to
Go
the
get
pole and
you
sprint.
A Gatorade and chill out.
Oh, but to tie that, the conversation I had with my homegirl that is the celibate church girl, she literally sat there and she was like, okay, I'm trying to put myself in your shoes and I'm realizing this is something you asked for. These feelings are natural. And she was literally like, I've had boyfriends and I'm monogamous and I felt jealous. Like,
Yeah.
this is a situation where you just got to learn through your jealousy. Talk to me. And when I hung up with her, I called another friend who got a boyfriend. We be in the clubs together. She's cool, more liberal. And I know she judged me when she hung up. And I know she probably called another friend and was like, so why would you bring a bitch in the bedroom? And, you know? And it's interesting because we think the church folk or the person that's not into what we into gonna judge us. But it's not that. People are different. You just gotta have an open mind and an open heart. And obviously,
And an
you
open
do.
1,000
Lid.
Angels the same way. Also, I don't, even in my Christian walk, it kind of gets boring to talk to church people about church. Like,
Very.
Yeah.
me and Angel have talked about this at length. It's like, I don't feel like as a church kid, we supposed to go out and like reach people. And I didn't do, this is just me. I'm not even putting this on the church. It's just me, Kevin. Angel have the same feeling. I feel like most of my church experience was just competing with other church people for who could be the most saved.
Yeah.
We didn't really go out and like meet people where they were, talk to anybody. It was just like, well, you cuss, well, you don't have sex, or you whatever it is. So that's not how I really live my life. And also, when I worked at All Def, them niggas was doing everything. It was like people was doing coke at work, and I was just like, I couldn't even find weed in Washington. I was like, y'all doing coke at 11? Like, how y'all? Where you?
Wait, what? Did you wipe the nose? That was
That, like in meetings, like they taking bump before me. I remember nigga was
that
like,
Cat Williams shit was not a fucking lie.
no,
dude.
I'm like, where are y'all getting cocaine? They were like, there's like an underground network of Uber cocaine drivers.
Uber cocaine
Like you could Uber cocaine, like some black.
Oh, it's
and I
not
was like,
just
this
Uber
is-
cocaine. I don't know if y'all like do mushrooms or anything.
I do
but
like a good portobello.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Shiitake.
So, lion's mane.
My mushroom guy sent me a list the other day. I was like, oh yeah, can you give me? He has like makes mushroom gummies now. I was like, oh, can you give me?
I
some?
only like them in a chocolate
So
bar.
he sends me a PDF, full operation. PDF with different emojis on it. And I'm looking at the emojis, I'm like, snow, okay, that's cocaine. Then I see a horse, I'm like, as you know,
Ketamine.
Ketamine?
horse tranquilizer.
Ketamine.
And I was like, oh, wow.
They
so
was
I'm
doing
just
that
looking
at
through.
All Def too.
Then I see little
Okay.
pink shit, and I'm like, oh, these look light and fun. So I start asking him what he has, and he goes, oh, you never needed anything else. He then pulls out this little carry-on case that he had, and wide open, just tells me everything that he has available, and basically was like, yo, some people like lighter shit, some people like harder shit, and for the most part, everybody wants to share their drug guide. Let me know who you got.
Share their drug guy.
That is crazy.
It's an Uber operation. So there's one person that receives the text messages that then filters out the cards and sends that person to you. When I was calling the dude, because I thought he might be lost, it was someone else. I'm like, damn. All the trappers I know wasn't like this.
Yeah.
No, it's a different time. And if you're looking for options, check out Factor Meals, our next sponsor. Listen, you guys, it is time to make this the best season yet with nutritious 2-minute meals from Factor. Eating well has never been this easy. Just heat up and enjoy, giving you more time to do what you want. Get outside instead of prepping and cooking indoors. This is what I love about Factor Meals. They are fresh and they're ready to eat, and they're perfect if you have an active lifestyle. They have around 45 weekly options, and for your menu, you can get gourmet meals that fit your goals. They have Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, Keto, and more. Factor powers your day with satisfying breakfasts, on-the-go lunches, premium dinners, and guilt-free snacks and desserts. It's easy to savor more this spring. Factor Meals packs in the flavor with none of the fuss. Y'all already know I have Factor's meals running through my house left and right. We get out order every Sunday, and it makes it so easy, especially when I have a busy day and I don't feel like cooking. I can just pop my meal in the microwave. Get started at factormeals.com/SK50off and use code SK50off to get 50% off plus free shipping with your first box, on your first box. That's code SK50off at factormeals.com/SK50off for 50% off plus free shipping. Thank you, Factor, for sponsoring today's podcast.
And we're back.
Oh, yeah.
The audience had already said this is going behind a paywall.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
No, this
What are you talking about?
No,
Okay.
the episode
We
title is
shot
gonna be.
this.
I'm gonna do a little single me out, Josh. I'm gonna do this right now because I just thought about it because I don't want to hear it. This is what I want to
You
say.
gonna hear it, but go ahead and say
No, I'm not going to hear it. Am I single, Josh? Listen, we got Mandy and Wheezy from the artist formerly known as the Whoreible Decisions podcast on today. Decision. Their book is titled No Holds Barred. Sorry.
It's okay.
And a dual manifesto of sexual exploration and power. This episode is a lot. If you don't feel like being a part of a lot, it's a good time, but it's also a lot. If that ain't your cup of tea, don't watch this week.
Don't drink.
Don't drink.
Don't drink the tea.
Pass. If you're interested, I done told you. This is what we talk about, and we ain't gonna censor these ladies as they promoting their book, because there's some people in here who be like, I want to know about the holes. This episode
And
for
we
you.
tell you about the holes.
If you don't want to know about
All
the
of them.
holes, watch the bonus or come back next Wednesday.
There you go.
But if you get in here and you don't like it, and I done told you, I don't want to hear it.
You really sound like a pastor.
I don't want to hear it.
You know
I
what?
already
I'm 42
told
years
you.
old. I can talk to who I want to talk to. If you don't like it, then go to the next episode.
There's a whole chapter about one particular hole. And
hole?
And not to talk
Gotta
about
be
the
the best.
church.
Said it. Booty hole?
Not to talk about the church. But I did start off that way. Because the book talks about my viewpoint in sexuality and the Buddha hole. And it goes through 3 phases of me and my thoughts on anal sex with heterosexual people. Then it goes to my thoughts of finally receiving it. And then it goes to my thoughts in wanting to play in man booty.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I love how you were just like, okay, I've done it.
But to be fair, I start off the chapter, and it's in my pleasure chapter, and I start off the chapter with talking about how I had to unlearn my own homophobia. And it was rooted in not only, again, I was in church early, but I'm half Jamaican. So I talk about like my cousin who had to leave Jamaica and come back because even still now they're very homophobic in the Caribbean. But I lean into how I was like a little girl dancing to Buju Banton's Boom Bye Bye and what it really meant and all those things. And then I go into thinking like if a man was asking me for that, I thought he was gay. My own ignorance, us not learning about it, but then also the only like education we ever had around sex was don't have sex or you'll get pregnant or die. You know what I mean? It was abstinence. But no one ever talked about women receiving anal sex as something to be pleasurable. And so
sex period in our lives.
Yeah, I was about to say.
You get ready to have
women
these
aren't
babies.
supposed to
Yeah, no,
enjoy
you're right.
pleasure.
You're right.
Centered sex is something that's like not discussed,
especially for women.
Which is the reason why it's very difficult for a lot of women to reach orgasm or have conversations about pleasure for themselves. Because if pleasure is connected to sex, it's the male gaze.
Bingo.
We ended up, I was such a fan of her. There's a woman who's a cinematographer for pornography only. Her name's Erica Lust. And she... What?
Like
Great
the
name.
She got a porn
That's her
name,
name.
but she makes movies.
Yeah.
So what I really loved about her, and she's married with kids.
Yeah.
They moved to Barcelona. I think she's Spanish actually, but she basically took fantasies that people had and made movies from them. So if somebody would go on a blog and be like, I want to see this Star Wars shit, she'd make it. So when Mandy and I met her, I said, what inspired you to make movies that were like this? And she's like, I was just so tired of watching porn and it ends with the cum shot. We never see the woman have an orgasm. Even if she does, it's just like we're just hearing it. Like we don't see the face, we don't see the buildup. And it can take a long time for a woman to have an orgasm. If it takes 40 minutes, I'm gonna film it for 40 minutes. Oof. Like forget it. We gonna get this so that people understand. And I think if
That's bad dick for me.
40 minutes.
It takes you 40 minutes to make me come. I'd be upset.
Are your two nails short on purpose?
Yes, they are.
See, she is gay.
I like
Yes.
Now I don't wear any acrylic. That's how you know.
Everyone always knows this, but so it's for women and for male booties.
Yeah, booty holes. So you rip it up.
Just in case, keep these two. I got to work. These are my working fingers.
You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy? Depending on who I go to, they either think I type a lot or I braid hair, and I let them believe that.
It's like the opposite of the Coke pinky.
Oh yeah, it's not the Coke pinky.
It's
It's being dipped in something else. Okay.
Got it.
You know, for black people,
That's a great thing to
do you know how
notice,
niggas
April.
be having a long nail and black people don't do cocaine? I'd be like, that was just for weed. I always
Yeah, I never understood the long pinky just to have it.
Bro, living in New York and LA, it really taught me just so much about how people live their lives and how I remember when I used to think eating man booty was crazy. There was a time I thought pee was crazy. There was a time where I thought everything was crazy. And the more that you
Is there anything that's crazy?
That's exactly what my head just went to. Is there anything for you all that like pings as a little bit?
Poop.
Scat
Ironically,
play.
I don't like
Scat
no
play.
scat play. Now, it may happen with anal sex. It just, I'm ready for it, but I don't like it.
I would say though, you know,
Like-
someone said in
I'm
your
ready
comments, shout out to whoever's in there earlier. They said, hey, as long as it's consensual, like that's, and you're not hurting anybody.
Yeah.
That's what we really learned.
Yeah, like we
I mean,
don't
you
kink.
got fire and electricity.
Well,
These are
I
things
know, I know.
these
We don't kink shame, but we say that there's 3 things that we don't, we're not here for: corpses, babies, and animals. So those are the things. Like if you're
Those
into,
are really good lines to draw. Very solid.
Actually, we had some really
what?
The lines.
dead
You don't like the
is
line?
babies.
Dead babies and animals.
They're very
There's
good
so many lines before that.
Just 3.
What are the lines? Say another one.
I
Yeah, you don't know.
I don't know.
We just gave you 3.
I feel like I'm going to a new school now. Like my other school, it was very different.
Wait, what other lines would y'all have? Like if we say those are the 3 lines where we'd be like, ooh, you a little kinky. Are there kinks that you find strange, but you would be okay, like knowing that they're into?
With the person that I am having sex with.
Yeah, like consensual sex. We're all in the guys.
I'm just saying, like, I don't have no problem with y'all want to do in y'all life. I'm saying in my own life.
Your line.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm saying lines for
Oh, no,
like.
girl, we know you got lines.
Oh, yeah.
We know you got boundaries.
Here's the line that I want to talk about with y'all that we were kind of debating. So this started off from a conversation with my boyfriend. My kink shaming thing, I used to be like, that's fucking crazy, is race play. And my boyfriend said, well, I think it depends on the level. Because there's a porn star, I can't remember who it was. It wasn't Mr. Marcus, was it? It was someone else where a white girl said, she called him a nigga while he was coming. Do you remember that? And he won the case. So he's like, that's crazy. Like, you're not going to call me something disrespectful. But Slave Play is a Broadway play made by Jeremy O. Harris. And it was super popular. Jeremy O. Harris is black, by the way.
Yeah.
And I thought it was going to be some actual slave shit.
Yeah.
When you get there, it's interracial couples. And I'm on Broadway in New York, like, what the fuck? And it's interracial couples acting out slavery scenes. And none of them ever crossed the line of saying the N-word until the end of the scene. I think right at the end of the play where someone accidentally does it. So it kind of shows you how there's like this juxtaposition of kink. So my boyfriend says to me,
Yeah, nah.
the race play exists in every single interracial relationship. It's just different levels. And he said to me, for example, you fucked a white boy before. Wasn't a part of you wanting to fuck him because he was white? Didn't you get turned on and like, oh, it was some artsy white nigga that was fucking. He was like, you
Artsy
like,
white nigga.
he's like, you liked it. You liked the
hate when
fucking
she
Brooklyn
puts
look,
nigga
the
after
hair,
white.
like,
White. I
and
hate
he
it.
liked you because you looked like you. There's always race play in there. The turn on is that you're fucking this white guy. You're not gonna tell me you're not. And honestly, he's right.
Well, see, because that's a line for me as well.
Me too. I don't like white men. Like
I
I've
know
never
how
had
you.
sex with
If
white
I got a
men.
little drunk, I might have been like, "Oh yeah, this white did good." I'm about to say
Is
it.
that race play though? Or is that
That's
just-
not race
But
play.
it is.
No, because like you used to get on me. I'm black, and I used to say like I used to type for my search categories BBC. It used to hate that
Only
I
if
looked
you
up BBC, big black cock, whatever. I don't
No,
like
no,
saying
no,
cock.
no, no. I said
But I like
saying
I
it
like
is
it big
nuts.
and black. I don't. What?
Two black people saying I love this black pussy isn't the same.
I know it's not. I don't
What kind of
think so.
BLM porn is this? Literally.
BLM porn.
Why are we
I
saying?
love it.
black
We're
pussies do
acknowledging
matter,
our
black
beautiful
lives.
melanin and our skin.
If we have to acknowledge skin color, we're different skin colors, bro.
No.
I've never watched black porn where a bitch says, I love this black cock.
I like
and she's
using
black.
adjectives, and we learned it while writing the book that we needed more adjectives. And so while I'm having sex, maybe I want to scream out some adjectives.
So was there anything
Big and black is an adjective.
in this book where you felt yourself being more vulnerable and transparent than what you usually are in your podcast?
But let's get away from the big black.
No, but I realized I was.
Oh, you want to get
No.
serious?
No, because I was
Okay.
like, y'all also promoted the book. So for real, like, is there anything, because y'all seem very like, we always say what we gonna say. Is there anything in the book that you felt like, damn, I really ain't never talked about this before. Am I ready to talk about it?
I feel like you
gotta
just
have-
laughed too much for me to
You
say.
gotta
Yeah,
have
damn.
a thing
You just-
to. Angel, there was a term, but Angel was like, something happened and some celebrity came out with some news, and Angel was like, oh, they got a book on the way. And then, like, within the next week, it was like, and also my book is coming out. It was like, you gotta have your thing. You gotta have your trailer.
You know, I'll be honest with y'all. In this book, we both talk about an assault. Mine specifically was a very violent R word. I'll leave that for your audience, right? The thing that was scary for me, I don't even think I said it on our own platform. What's terrifying me about the book, I genuinely am saying this not to make someone buy it. You wouldn't figure it out from this context. The R word was a celebrity, and they're not really famous anymore. Maybe they would be, I don't know. But at the time when I was writing it, Charlemagne is our publisher, basically. I called him and was like, I'm so scared someone's going to think this was the thing that I needed to sell the book. And it almost makes me not want to talk about it.
Well, yeah, because he wasn't big enough. He wouldn't sell no copies for us.
No, but back then they were huge. But just knowing that there's a celebrity that did it.
Yeah.
So basically, I was reading it to him, and he's like, you almost have to add in the celebrity factor because a lot of this has to do with the fact that you're 19, you're young, and there's a lot of coercion.
Like
that
a
goes
power dynamic
Yeah.
at play.
And so it made me think that was the biggest fear I had for this book. I talk about wanting to kill myself, all this shit.
Sorry that you had to rethink the validity of telling your own story based off
But
of other
that's what
people's
women
opinions.
do. We watching this shit right now with Cassie.
Yes.
I'm not even trying to really tie it in like that, but
No.
real shit. This is a whole thing of when there's someone in power, when the woman speaks out, we think, oh, she wants clout.
Yeah.
First of all, these women, to get up and do it, it's so embarrassing and shameful. Not to mention, I don't want money from this.
Yeah.
You know? And then when my boyfriend asked me, well, what made you never tell? I was like, because people just be like, what do you want, money?
Right.
What
Right.
are you doing this for? It's sometimes women can't really come out and say it's a release, but it really was writing it.
Oh, I ain't gonna hold
Good.
you. Mine is problematic. So in my sexual assault chapter, I start by thinking that I was God's chosen and God's favorite because I hadn't experienced, quote unquote, an assault until I was 27. And so I was like, ooh, like, you know, there's all these stats that I put in there as well. And so I experienced my sexual assault on a train, but it wasn't until recently that I talk in this book about going back and with the knowledge of new language, realizing, oh, I had been assaulted. And like Weezy, unfortunately, Anna, Tying, and Cassie, mine is a little bit more complicated because I was stealthed. So stealthing is a word that we just learned with having this podcast.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
I haven't
when it
learned yet,
happened,
so tell me what it means.
I didn't realize that was, I knew I felt violated, but I didn't think it was the R word. I didn't, you know, and he was also a celebrity. So basically we were having sex and he blindfolded me. And I'm into all the things. I now don't get blindfolded because of this. Like, that's one of the things that I just don't feel comfortable. I'm constantly feeling around. So basically, when we got done, he said, "You're going to be mad at me." And I'm like, well, why, nigga? And he's like, oh, it was feeling so good. He removed the condom and came at me. And so I was just like, and there was a part of me that was in confusion because it felt good. I was enjoying everything,
Right.
but the end of it was, oh, and again, this is me thinking of it later. And then the other part, which ties into the Cassie dynamic, I didn't have much money back then. He cut me $1,000 check. And maybe to me that was so that I didn't fuss, so that I didn't cause a thing. And maybe he knew like how, you know, out I was to where, okay, the money's gonna shut her up, that's fine. And I got her the plan B, we're all figured out.
I also want to just say, I know our stories are about famous people that did this to us. I don't really know many women that haven't had experiences.
These experiences.
Where men did this, men remove a condom. Like,
Yeah.
my homegirl right now that manages a Target be telling me how niggas act. Like,
Is that what stealthing is?
So stealthing is the removing of a condom without your
telling
knowledge.
the other person.
So like I consented to having sex with this person.
Right.
Protected.
correct.
Yeah.
He removed it without my knowledge.
Yes.
So stealthing is now actually a crime
As
in
it should be.
in Switzerland, and I think they actually just passed a law here in
It's
California.
a few states. It's just not many.
It's a few states, but it's not a federal crime.
But
which
this is
sucks.
the thing, though. What girl is really going to go and say, and this is why many men that commit crimes to this degree aren't really prosecuted. I think there's something like 2.5 men that have R-word somebody are imprisoned.
Yeah.
It's really a lot of shame.
It's very underreported.
It's very
crime
underreported
as well.
Well, let's be very clear too. Like me,
What do you
with,
think they're going to do? Call us hoes?
Well, with
Yeah.
me, with having this feeling of pleasure while also being violated, I think that's the question and unfortunate thing that's happening with Cassie right now.
Yeah.
Cassie expressed that she enjoyed this or wanted to do it this way, not
Right.
that way. And so people seeing, oh, nah, she liked that, it's completely removing her from being a victim, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
Correct.
Because that's where I feel like, yeah, I enjoyed it in the moment, but I was also violated.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
two things can
The-
exist,
the
and I think that gray
consenting is
area
such
is
a-
really...
I was telling my homegirl, we were having this conversation. I said people need to reimagine what a victim looks like because
Yes.
people have a
That's
very
a great way to say it.
Yes.
a very small definition and picture of what a
It's
victim
always
looks
like the girl running through Central Park.
Oh, my God.
Guy in a ski mask
Yeah.
grabs her out of the from the trees. And listen, as a man, I'm sorry, Angel, I cut you off terrible.
No, it's
Go.
already happened. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go with it.
Ooh, can we do this? I like that.
It's already
Yeah.
happened. Let it
Let it go.
That was very Mel Robbins.
Yeah,
Let them.
you just reminded me though, and I hadn't said anything in a while, and I've been itching.
Thank you, Josh.
You talked about the victim thing, and Angel said something that I can't remember that triggered my mind. As a man, I
Reimagining victim.
Reimagining victim. Yes, I thought I agreed with not agreed, but I learned most of this from like TV, right? Law and
Yes.
Order, and it's like a guy grabbing somebody in the woods or whatever. And I remember I think I was in high school or early college, and I was taking a sex ed class, and the teacher was saying like, one, if you're a man, ask your homegirls. She was a black lady. Ask your homegirls like that you're comfortable with.
Yep.
Have any of them experience sexual assault? I guarantee you it's more than you think.
Ooh.
And I was like, church kid. All my closest homegirls at the time were church kids. And it was like, I'm thinking 1, 2. It was like 8 or 10.
Out of-
like out of 10 homegirls, it was like 8 of them, and it was like
Fuck,
all
that's
different
a lot.
things.
At that
But
age.
it was 0. The thing that blew my mind, 0 were the random guy in the woods.
Now
It was
that's, you know
all
what, though, Kev?
somebody.
It's not because you're a man. There's a woman watching this right now that is going to realize,
That she's been sexually assaulted. and
because
didn't realize.
when it is TV and movies, it is crazy. I don't know him.
Yeah.
Most situations we know the guy. And the thing for me, I had sex with the person that did it to me once before. So when it happened, I remember even telling the story to one friend the first time I actually said it out loud, and she cried listening to it because it was kind of violent. It was, excuse me. I'm trying to dumb it down in this moment. I'm
Yeah.
34 years old, all this therapy, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, well. So she said, well, did you really get, raped
Yeah.
if you thought you were going to sleep with him that night?
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, you were like passed out and thrown up and all this shit, but like maybe because you were going to do it that night, he just figured. I'm like, bruh, the story is so crazy, and I feel like a lot of people might be watching this on the way to work, so I apologize, but the first moment of entry, I was vomiting over a toilet. How could there have been a situation where he would have thought
This is go time.
Yeah.
But she was like, well, maybe they don't know. Maybe because he thought you were. And this was a woman telling me this. Now,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
in this
Yeah.
moment,
I'm not surprised.
she's
Oh, my
20
wife
years
said
old.
something. Can I say this?
Yeah.
She said something so good that I thought I need to remember this.
Yeah.
She said it yesterday. She said, let me scroll up. It was in our group chat with her sister.
I
She
do like
said-
to, while you look for that that people don't consider that you could be raped by your husband. So there's marital
yeah.
rape, and then the fact that you could be with a boyfriend or partner and you're not allowed to say no to them. Which
Yes.
like that happens often, and it's just unfortunate that that people don't feel like they have the autonomy to say no when they're in
A committed
relationships, because you do. You can be tired and tell
And
your
not want
partner no.
Yeah.
Listen, my husband has heard no a lot of times. He understands the word. But I do think you found it.
Men enact patriarchy. Women uphold and enforce it.
Ooh.
And enforce it. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
I knew what you
Men enact patriarchy. Women uphold and
And
enforce
that was
it.
the friend. It's like, a lot of people in the comments saying she was trash. I'm not saying she ain't. But
Yeah, she is.
At 20 years old, I don't know if we had the language to
Oh,
understand.
right.
And that's why I'm saying, like, when she first said it, I can't blame this girl. She
Yeah.
really, and maybe she was trying to make me feel better about what happened. But
Well, our word culture is how a lot of this, we're similar. I think we're all millennials.
I'm not, but that's okay.
You're with us. You're adjacent. Were you
Yeah,
ex?
she close.
I'm close.
You're Zillennial.
Yeah, I'm
She's
at
right
the-
there with us.
it's an Enneal.
We went to
Yeah.
high school together.
Yeah.
You don't, it's like white privilege. A lot of times you don't realize it's impacted you. You don't realize the world has been framed this way. Like boys will be boys, right? You don't realize that's framed in rape culture.
Yeah.
If she says no, you gotta be persistent.
Persistent. Yep. I was
Persistent,
just
that's-
saying
that's
that.
rape.
But also
Talked
as
about this.
women, you got to play hard to get because you
I
don't
was
want to
just
look
gonna
like a hoe.
We talked
Those
about
two
this
things
on the
work
podcast
together.
They do.
a long time ago.
Yeah.
I said I
it's all
really
there.
have enjoyed, people a lot of times talk about, especially rap culture, of women being so very hypersexual.
Sexualized,
And I said I actually love it. I love the fact that women are being very vocal about what they want and not playing coy. I said because that is where a lot of mess happens.
Yeah.
Because I do believe there are straight up monsters out there, men who are monsters that really don't mind taking away a woman's autonomy and her consent. Then I also believe there are some boys that have been trained to think, I have to keep hunting until she says yes.
Yes.
I have to keep her quiet no is not really
Or she's
no.
playing coy.
Yes.
She wants to see how far you'll go.
And I have 4 boys.
Yeah.
So I am very much so, unless she is going rah-rah shish
4
from
boys,
by
wow.
Yes.
about wanting to be with you,
Yes.
then she don't want to be with
Do you
you.
know
We
what my
have two
boyfriend learned
boys.
through me? Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. I was just gonna say, and I would love to hear what you were gonna say.
Yeah.
First, it was teaching our boys about sex, like the act and what it means and how babies are born. Most of the reinforcement conversations since they were like 11 and 9, they're 18 and 16, has been about consent. Because consent has
Wow.
been changing.
It has.
Consent. Because in my lifetime, in 40 years, consent was, stealthing wasn't a thing, right? I remember learning about
We just
that.
learned about that in like 2016, 2017.
Yeah, that's remember the first time I heard about it, and I didn't know it was a thing. I didn't know it was bad. I mean, obviously, I could think of it, but it's not something that
The
anybody
language,
taught me.
we didn't know the language.
Didn't know the language. Go ahead, Weezy.
No, I'm really happy to hear y'all talk about your kids because now we know that this next generation will be
It's
different.
shifting in a way.
So when my partner and I are engaging with other women or maybe meeting other women, a lot of the times we're meeting women out. Like, we cute. So, sometimes we'll
What
talk
do y'all
to
do? Y'all just be like,
Honestly, I have learned just reading back the book because we had to do the audio book. So we had to read it all over again.
yeah.
I was like, damn, I fucked this many bitches just from a bar. But
And
I realized
did a whole lot.
girls,
She said, and
And
did.
did a whole
a
lot.
lot of women want to experience a couple. And I think it's that men lead too much and it feels a little bit uncomfortable because you need something softer. So when women meet a woman like myself that actually likes women and is respectful, they feel safer. Going home with one person is scary, let alone two. I think women see the safetyness a lot from me, or they feel it. There can be an energy. I know that anyone can be taken advantage of, but I'm just being honest here. It's like the feeling when you maybe go into an Uber and you're like, oh, let me tell my friends where I'm at. There is a feeling someone can give you a safety, and so I think a lot of women have felt that with me, and that's why maybe I've had a lot of firsts. Long story short.
So you doing the bending.
This is doing it.
You the one that get them to be doing the bending.
Hey, and I want to hear your long story short, but I also want to ask the question: have you all ever had to, because someone is changing their decision further into, had to be like, all right, girl, well, you go home.
I love calling her
finish up
out.
here.
It's a friend of mine named Chanel. She hears me tell this story all the time. I always had a crush on her. She came back with me and my partner, and she was sitting on the couch with us and said, you know what? I think I just need to drink tonight. I think that's what I can do. And I was like, okay. And it felt like we were all gonna have sex. We were all really close on the couch. And I know a threesome when it's coming.
I know a threesome when a threesome's on the way.
She was like,
Threesome over that horizon, man.
I see it
Probably about
coming.
20, 30 minutes away.
hey, that Uno getting long. But she was like, I think I just want to drink. And she had an energy that just felt like it wasn't as inviting. And I get it. Now you suddenly in the house.
Yeah.
Maybe I think I might have took my jacket off. She was like, oh, it's getting real.
Drop four. Drop four. Drop four. No, drop four. I just want to pay
Actually, no. Kev has done this before. Because that's our number one tip. If you want to have a threesome, have a game night.
Oh, Uno, bro.
Look at you.
Look at you
Look
in the
at
list
you.
of
Already
rules.
know.
Sweet
You
We just like taboo.
you
You like taboo.
You
Clue.
He said drop one. He knew the
I got
right
a
setting
clue.
and everything.
I just wanted to refocus on the game.
Oh,
We literally say Uno is the game into a threesome.
Oh, bro.
I
What?
burned
Listen,
all of
but
my
you gotta
energy.
I'm too competitive. I'm
You
like,
have
what are you
to
taking
sit
that bra
really
for?
close.
Pick these up. Pick these cards up. I'm about to win.
But, so basically, when the girl made this comment, my partner didn't have this energy of like disappointment. And that's the thing that also counts with coercion, right? When a guy is like huffing and puffing, like you just gotta accept the fate, my nigga.
Yeah.
And this is if it's a threesome or just one woman.
Yeah.
When a woman starts to draw back, let us have that.
Take
We're
that.
probably gonna give you the pussy another day.
Another day.
Another day.
Sometimes pop Saturday, Friday. You win some, you lose some, but you live to smash another day.
And so now our thing, like you said, if it's not what you're teaching your boys about excited, yes. So my man literally was saying to me, he was feeling a girl that we were out with, but I don't know if I wasn't. She was gorgeous, but there was something that maybe I wasn't as excited about. And he's like, do you want to like get her number? And I was like, yeah, sure. And he said, you know what? If it ain't hell yes from you,
Yes.
I'm learning. Like,
Yeah.
That's not
and I appreciate that so much because
Yes.
it was just the phone number. It wasn't a really big thing. When we got in the car, I'm like thinking to myself, I don't know if this man knew that if he wasn't dating a woman like me. How much conversation are monogamous couples having about how situations make them feel? Granted, mine is extreme in this instance, but it could be anything. You could go to a party with your man. Maybe you don't like when he's talking to someone too long or when he doesn't introduce you in a certain way. Everybody that's dating has these experiences.
1,000%.
For some reason, boundaries aren't talked about as much beyond, don't cheat on me.
Yeah, this is a great point. I love this. Melissa and I had this happen a few years ago. And this was a blind spot for me. I realized if we're at a party or at dinner with somebody and it's like business, like it could be business related, I will dominate. the conversation.
I'm a dominate most conversations.
I'm a dominator.
Not this one. He doing real good.
Oh, well, because y'all are very strong energy. It's hard to overtake y'all. You
Yeah.
gotta be like, ah!
You're playing double dutch. And I'm not inviting y'all to game night, by the way. I love game nights. You guys cannot come.
That's crazy.
You guys just don't trust y'all around the table.
Like, so it's time. Yeah.
Sure am. Melissa.
But what I realized, she pulled me aside after the dinner, right? And I did notice that her energy in the dinner kind of waned, but I couldn't quite like figure out what was, what it was. And she was like, yo, like, I got stuff to say too. Like, leave room for me is what she said.
Ooh, I love it.
Leave more room for me in the conversations. And I feel like when we're in a new thing, especially business again, or new people, I don't, we podcasters, I don't want to leave for no dead air.
Right.
But I didn't realize, and again, to your point, every boundary's not sex, don't cheat on me. It's like, this is how this makes me feel like blah, 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 or how you introduce me, all these things. Resentment, I can feel unsafe, like you're not protecting me, you don't care. Or especially because I'm a big personality and I'm Kev on stage, when people want to talk, they often are like, Kev, Lissa's right there.
And they don't
She's like, bro, like,
I'm right here.
Liz, what do you think?
Oh, I hate when people do that.
Yeah.
I think it's so unkind.
But I was not doing this intentionally, but I had to intentionally adjust so it wouldn't, make Melissa feel away. Even though I was unaware that I was doing it. I am more aware when people are doing it now because I'm just used to it. But I think, to your point, more conversations need to be had about safety, security, then don't cheat on me. That's, Melissa and I, that's not really a concern after 25 years, right? It's not like you're going to go, like we have, but that doesn't mean.
I've been married since I was 7.
Yeah, wow.
Oh, you a baby.
Wow.
How old y'all is?
How old were you when The Lion King came
I'm
out?
34.
And you what?
So I was
We're both
9.
34.
Oh, wow.
I was 9.
How old do you get?
42.
This is great. I'm a decade older than both of you.
What?
Wait,
Oh, no, sorry.
She said, what?
Hold on. At first,
Wait,
I
you're
thought I'm like,
44?
there's no fucking way.
Yeah.
Really?
I'm about to be 45.
Big
Oh,
45.
wow.
Big 5. Oh, you
Wait, what are you doing for your birthday?
I don't know. I'm now working.
Damn, look,
so
she just got stressed. She said, bitch,
When's
don't.
your birthday?
July 3rd.
Oh, it's coming up. Essence Fest.
Well, yeah, I'm working at Essence.
Oh, so you gotta celebrate. Yeah, we out there, girl.
Game night.
Kevin will be out there too.
No.
Angels turning to a devil
I can't play
tonight.
games.
How y'all deal with the smells? I'm sorry. I've been thinking about this
Wait,
this whole time.
we not gonna do that.
No, when you talked about
Good
the sex
question.
dungeon.
Good question.
When you talked about sex dungeon, I was like, what does that smell
You know
like?
what's crazy? And I'll tell you.
I
I have been to, like, me and my ex relationship, we were at sex clubs every 2 weeks.
It smells like skin.
You know what's crazy? No,
That is not true. And I go to the same ones you go to.
That's fine. So, not sure what night you went. I've never had an issue with the ones I go to. The only one I've ever had an issue walking into, and I've said this on the podcast, was Trapeze in Atlanta. I walked into one of the rooms, and boy, it kicked me out. But the one.
Did you leave?
It was just one of the rooms.
You gotta stay for the
one of
one.
It was just one
And
of the
I'm not
rooms.
saying
Like
that
the one at
people's
Trapeze
stink
is like maybe 3 of these rooms or all these
Sweat.
different rooms. I never had an issue with the smell.
I think the
personally.
smell smells like this. This is how I can describe it. And I only would know empty because I've done some interviews of sex club owners while they're empty, while no one's in there.
Oh, okay.
It smells the same as a club when no one's in there. It's just like a little musk. It
Yeah.
doesn't smell super clean, but it's not bad.
Yeah.
The thing that helps with the sex clubs, there's a lot of candles, there's a lot of aroma. So a lot
I was
of
gonna say, I've been to people's houses who stank worse than sex clubs. Especially if they
But
got
you
some
know that-
animals and they don't know how to clean up after them.
I-
they got dishes in the sink, trash that ain't been taken out. I done walked into people's
do think
homes
sex club has a
that
scent. I'm
smell
not gonna
worse.
lie to
I mean,
you.
no, I'm not saying
It's
it
like
doesn't.
cilantro. Some people taste good,
I
some
literally
people smell
said
like
I've
soap.
never had a problem.
Yeah.
So I didn't say it didn't smell like
Maybe you meant
anything.
person.
But like when we walked into this room, there's a smell in every room. People
Yeah.
have smells, right? But I have walked into homes that smell worse than some of the play parties that I've been to.
I get it. When I don't know what the smell is attached to, it's hard for me to have my vagina open. I just need to know, like, so.
I mean, as long as it ain't you.
Someone said like a
Yeah,
strip
whatever.
club in the comments.
Yeah, does
that
it
is
smell
exactly.
like okay.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
Well, because strip
But
clubs
it's
smell like
gotta-
skin to me. I
And
smell
strip
skin.
clubs don't smell to me.
Oh.
I go in there and I eat motherfucking lobster and steak.
Oh, I was like, what you-
I be in Cheetah for dinner. Like, that is my dinner restaurant.
Cheetah's a restaurant.
No, it's a. See, it's a strip club.
No, but it's overcoming.
Right.
its
It is a
food
re-
smell.
it is a strip
That-
club.
That kitchen right there.
Okay, well then I go to Magic City and order my lemon pepper wet. Like, regardless, I eat at these places where there is ass cheeks and pussy juice everywhere.
Remember that
and it don't bother me.
podcast where the lady had the swingers party and they had to load up, they had the fajitas and
Oh,
stuff?
yes,
Oh, no.
yes.
There's always buffets.
what?
At the swinger parties?
At swinger parties, like, so the ones in New York are really demure with it. It's just a charcuterie board. And, and so you have your
not
cheese
enough
crackers and
food.
grapes. But the one in Atlanta, baby,
Grits.
they rotated the buffet. So
Okay.
when you got there at midnight,
time.
because
you
it's open
start
till
at
like 4.
midnight.
Can we be honest though?
No, it
sex
is
and
at
food.
midnight.
Think about Houston, Atlanta. Sex and food. They always got good food at the motherfucking
But also
club.
think about after you nut. Don't you be thirsty? Don't you want a sandwich?
Yeah.
It's there.
Well, that's when you said New York just has a charcuterie
Now let me tell
board.
you,
It's at
sometimes
midnight.
I turn my nose up at things that even I do. I'll be like, I can't believe that bitch is going there. I will be at the sex club and be like, ugh, they're eating over there. An hour later, I'm on that cheese, dog. I don't know. And I remember the first time I did it, I was like, oh my God, I hope nobody sees me. And I was like, I'm gonna use a toothpick now. Oh. But it's crazy
I was
because
eating
like
that cheese.
you start to become one with the people.
You're like, this is what we doing when in Rome.
Like
Especially if you taking edibles and feeling a little nice. Oh, that charcuterie board gonna come out and be at the right time.
This is all I need.
This all you need, and it just keep you going for the night. Like I done woke up in sex clubs. Like I done fell asleep and woke up. Like I done been in them that long before.
you know, there was a
You
sex
starting at midnight? Hell yeah, I'm showing up asleep.
I went to a sex club in Paris that had a scent that was so crazy.
Well,
and
it's France.
The dom. Oh, good point.
They be.
But it was empty. I was
France.
interviewing the dominatrix in there, and she flat out said, and I loved her answer. It's called Screams and Whispers in French. I don't know how to say it. And compte d'écoutement. So I said to her, I don't want to be rude, but there's a smell. Of course there's a smell. You're in a dungeon. People pee. It's cum. It's dirty here. And it's meant to be filthy.
That's a great accent.
She was Russian. And after we left, the fucking DP on the show said, DP wasn't the right thing to say this.
Yeah, I know.
But
Director of photography this time.
on the
Next
show,
time.
it's called
Next time,
Sex Cells, by the way, if you want to watch it. It's a Parisian episode. He goes, Weezy, can I just say to you, like, in an odd way, I was turning up my nose at that, but I kind of get the person that would want a dirty, nasty club.
Never
He's like,
did.
think about if you start at level 1 of strip clubs and then you turn about 50, 60, you a little bored. Maybe you need the filth. And I was like, I get it too.
No, I think you start with the filth and then you climb to being a little bit more bougie. Because like my first sex club experience, like they had a hot bar. It definitely wasn't as clean and
Like
sanitary.
Whole Foods?
Like it was upstairs, downstairs. It was in Queens. It definitely wasn't Caligula. It
They
wasn't-
went, now they had a court case.
they got shut down during pandemic for having like 60 people in there during COVID.
Wait, this is public,
People
open?
needed
So
that.
The good ones aren't.
So the good
That
ones,
they just
ones may advertise, but you still have to submit vetting forms. And
Vetting?
So you have to be vetted to be accepted.
make sure they let
so
crazy
You gotta show 'em the nails
So like
right.
you submit.
I know, y'all.
You know what? I'm not playing. So you know what's crazy? So you submit, and I've thrown a few play parties as well. So you submit like your first name, last name, sometimes your sexuality. And one thing that I really like about Susia, what they do is they sneak in a question like, what was the last book you read? Because they want to be sure that the person is really reading the form, really wants to be a part of this. And
Not
also,
just signing.
Yeah, but
Oh, I
also-
thought it was...
Based on what the
No,
book is.
Well, no. When I interviewed Lewis, he said, "Yeah, we want to make sure you're somebody you would vibe with. Like, are you someone that isn't engaged?"
Yeah, but the book,
Yeah.
but it's also like making sure you're going through because you're not just putting in any answer because they do ask to if you've been to one before, like how you identify, all these other things. But yeah, like asking if you've read a book before is to also just make sure you're taking this vetting process
I would
seriously.
put no holds barred. Be like, nah.
Period.
And
Now,
then show them the
period.
nails.
someone asked a good question, and I would like to be honest about. What about STI testing?
I thought I was gonna ask
Great
if that was
question.
on
It
the.
didn't get rebranded because it was STD.
I think they tried to. I think
D-
they're trying
I
to get
think
the
Disease, they turned it into infection.
Yeah, I think it
like
was
disease makes it seem
stigma.
like it's
Disease is
it's-
longer lasting, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
Some
so.
of them last a long time.
They do, but I
Only-
think they're
only
trying
two
to
of 'em.
destigmatize
So
the disease.
I've
don't get rid
never,
of 'em,
in
then-
all honesty, for anyone that thinks everyone may be safer or whatever. So I've never seen a sex club ask for STI results.
Me neither.
However, what I will tell you is when I'm having threesomes from like a sex app, those results, and it's normally my chart or another application that's pretty like commonly used within New York or whatever state you may be in, but we share a lot. Like I think I was about to say the last few times, but now I want a number. You know I want to keep my count low.
No, it's
But
hard.
I haven't had
The numbers is gone for you.
I haven't really had a situation even with someone that I just met out. Like people that are in this lifestyle generally share a lot.
Well, so, and that's the thing, right? If you're at a sex club, like the same way you would advocate for yourself on meeting a guy in the club or meeting a guy through a mutual friend, like it's up to you to care about your health. So it's up to you to ask whatever person you're about to engage in, hey, when was the last time you were tested? Hey, do you have your MyChart results? We can go over to the bar area where we could pull out our phones and exchange results. Like to me, it's your decision to tell this person that you want to wear a condom.
How recent does it need to be for you to feel comfortable?
For someone who is just casually having sex, they say three months.
3 months?
Every 3 months.
Now, just
But
to tell
also,
y'all,
if you're out here having unprotected sex with someone who is casually possibly also having unprotected sex with other people, it's your responsibility to probably get tested more often. Like, I use condoms. I'm a condom dick lover, love it down. It is because for me at 34 years old, I don't want to get on birth control. I also don't want kids, ever. And so for me, my form of birth control is you gonna wear this condom unless you go and get snipped. Like, you let me know when you got that little vasectomy or something. But for me, I'm gonna use condoms. So it's also for me to advocate, hey, I only have sex this way, let me see this. Like, you have to advocate for your own body. No one's gonna do it for you.
and a lot of people that, you know, my friends have asked me, like, how do I ask him if he's been tested, X, Y, Z. You know, in normal dating, outside of lifestyle dating, most people fuck raw once they feel comfortable with somebody. You know what I
Bitches
mean?
be feeling
And
comfortable
that's
after a good
terrible.
meal.
But the thing that I was going to say about the porn industry, which I really appreciate, so we got nominated for AVN Award. That's basically the porn awards, but they have a podcast category. So Kazumi, who's a popular porn star, was saying she was going to a sex party. I said, oh my God, I want to go because I know you got the lit one, bitch. She's like, damn, I would love to invite you, but they require results. I'm like, cool, I'll pull up. She's like, no. We have a certain type of
Talent testing
that basically we only trust each other. So we can't invite outsiders. I'm like,
You was the vampire.
I'm a fucking journalist, bitch.
Right.
Look at the fuck.
Right.
You're an author now, not a journalist.
I'm a journalist. Sex sells on Amazon Prime, 4 seasons. But like, that's the thing. Like, you don't really know in any scenario what something could be. But the way that porn stars lock themselves down to me is really beautiful because let's just say you do porn. Kev does porn.
He definitely does.
Big
Kev on
Kev.
porn.
Kev on porn.
Big sleep.
Kev meets a girl at a bar. She's cute, she's fun, he fucks her. Kev got to go to work. You've now infected the industry because they all can't work
your
now.
whole job.
You done fucked the bitch that had to fuck another nigga. What if she did a gangbang? Now they all got chlamydia from the cute girl at the dime.
What if they're in like a relationship? Oh, is that person like, oh, your partner's cool? It's like understood?
You know, that's interesting because Kazumi does have a partner, so I never asked about partnership, but for the most part, I think it's like a closed pod situation.
It's like COVID testing.
Yeah,
Like
but
we
it's
was doing our
By the way, they're
show.
changing your name to Kev on Porn.
Kev on porn is great. Angel, we having it.
When we was doing
Thank
COVID,
you,
it was like
thank
we test, and we know Angel ain't going nowhere, Josh ain't going nowhere, and I wasn't going nowhere. So we
No sex, just we were around each other.
I was about to say, yeah. Y'all say
Breathing.
COVID testing.
But it
we
works.
talk about STD testing.
COVID
We're
is
like,
such a good
we were getting
example.
tested all the time because we was around each other doing a lot. You know what I mean?
You got to look at states like Hawaii and shit. COVID wasn't even happening until tourists came in, you know, and they had results that were negative.
Yeah.
So
Man.
I think really at the end of the day, it comes to like, you know, your own safety is your own. Like when people have maybe judged us in the past, I'm like, bro, I know so many girls that maybe have one partner in their
And they get it.
situationship, and
They
he
get
might be
something.
fucking some other hoes, but you ain't doing nothing. It's like, you really don't know. People that fuck a lot probably get tested a lot.
Yeah, I'd imagine.
They have the language.
I feel like they get tested, and that's the thing. Like the shame around sex workers or even people who, you know, like us, who people may deem to be a little bit more promiscuous. Like we care about our health more than the person that, you know, just doesn't think about getting tested, or the men that are like, you good, I'm good. Like
Yeah.
there's a lot of like, there's less talk and shame about discussing sex and discussing your results with the average community, I would say.
Yeah.
No, I would agree with you. I don't think that most people talk about it with all types of frequency. So I think
didn't
that's
know what
why.
my chart was until this moment.
Really?
Well, you have my
never-
chart just from going to the doctor.
Go to doctor. It's your online portal.
It's your, yeah.
It's-
But you know why someone
it's
doesn't do
called My
that?
Chart.
Because what are you going to say? Let's just say you meet a guy at work and you ask him for his results. He going to be like, you think I'm dirty?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like,
You know a nigga did that to me with COVID? I like that shit pissed me off. I lost my little fuck buddy over that. Like during the pandemic.
Sorry.
During the pandemic.
We were lost so much, and then she gonna lose a fuck buddy.
Not him. I was so sad because he wanted me to come over, and I was like, he lived with people at the house. I said, "There's a
you
lot of
gotta
people."
take care of yourself.
I said, "You ain't got no symptoms, do you?" And you would have swore he was asking if I was asking him if he had AIDS. I was like, I need to know. And this is New York. We are. You know,
we had gloves on, bruh.
Yeah.
like we had hazmat
We had no
suits to go grocery shopping.
Right. You
So-
had everything.
What what was it? We're 08. What was they calling us?
I don't know what you're doing, but yeah,
I
we
was
are.
like, we fucking yes.
No, that's not what I
if I ever went deaf, that's my first one.
Butt play.
No,
What
they
we
was,
talking-
no, what was they calling New York? Not Agent Zero.
Ground Zero.
Ground
no,
Zero.
not Ground Zero.
no, that was COVID.
Patient
That
zero.
was not
That was
11.
cool. That was
Patient zero.
That was not 11.
What the fuck is she saying there?
Patient Zero.
Patient Zero.
But we were the epicenter. That's what I was.
Epicenter.
it wasn't this.
in your vagina hole
What I
electrocution.
say?
Oh, now I
Fire.
see it.
Pussy almost. Yes, got it.
Florida education system. Okay.
No, we
I want you guys to
Epicenter
know
was a
we
big
had
word.
a co-author help us
We did
write the book.
Shut
Oh,
up.
wow. I want it the way y'all saying it. No extra.
Okay, so quick story. When we first started writing the book, it was because there's 2 chapters and we go back and forth, it was very important that our chapters sounded like us, even though it's fit in the same book. So I remember telling the co-author, like, okay, I want, because when we first started, I was very uncomfortable with writing because I feel like I have an issue with talking. You know what I mean? So I was like, okay, you just gonna record me talking and write it down, like what I say, like make it sound pretty. She sent me the first draft of the copy, and I said, I fucking hate this. What the fuck is this? She said, well, you said you wanted to sound like how you talk. All I know is it was like 3 words, period, 4 words, period. And I was like, this reads terribly. So she said, okay, I know you have anxiety about writing, but then you write it how you want it. And I was like, okay, bitch, because I want it to sound way better. This sounds awful. And she was like, well, this is how you sound.
I was like, you know
Word
what?
experience, 4 words period.
It
is
was
a
bad.
wild
It
insult.
was a whole lot of stuff. She was like, well, this is how you sound. This is how you said the story.
I've been like, you a lie. You left out shit. I know I said more than that.
I said-
Run the tape back.
I said, this is terrible. So then she got me comfortable with writing my stories. And then, for the book, that was just the introduction. For the book, I would write. And then my problem was I would overwrite. So I would have to cut like a 15-page chapter down to like 12. But we
the
had to
way
cut
it's
shit
written
out.
does
It was
sound like
crazy.
Yeah.
Like there's a threesome story I tell where I'm like,
Threesomes is her thing.
oh yeah, sorry.
Yo, lemonade.
But it's so casual.
threesome.
That is so,
That's
it's
a-
like
that's
us
a
saying,
Chick-fil-A
there's
order.
a joke I told on stage. She's like, there's a threesome story I told. Please continue.
Well, basically, I'm like talking about how it's my ex-girlfriend. We wanted to bring a guy in. And at this point, we've been dating like a year and a half. And I talk about how I said in my head, like, this nigga better blah, blah, blah. Like, and I'm thinking, what happens when
Well, no,
we're
we
in the
did good.
airport and a
didn't-
white woman
no.
reads this?
So we did. I think because we talked about it. I think
kept
they
the nigga.
edited. Yeah, but I think we only have 2 or 3 in your chapters. Only 2 or 3 niggas. I literally didn't write nigga in the whole book.
Oh, I needed
like
okay.
in none of my chapters.
2 or 3 niggas
This
is
nigga's
good.
crazy.
Yeah, it's only 2 or 3 niggas.
It's very like Huckleberry
Because I know how we
Friends.
talk.
We
Is
got
couple
no
niggas.
dead people, no babies, no corpses.
But you know,
and
2 or 3
No
niggas
N-words.
max.
3
2 or
niggas
3
max.
niggas. So I do a TV show on Fuse, and my first season, they really overproduced me. And so Fuse came to me and was like, yo, like, this is a Fuse original. We want you to be yourself. You can curse. I'm
Oh,
like,
boy.
okay. What can I say? Nigga. Now, the VP of content is black, and everybody else is white or Asian. So they sitting around. He's like, what do y'all think? And I'm like, what the fuck do you mean? What do you think?
What do you think? I want to hear their opinion.
And so, shout out to Josh. I think it was Henry.
Josh, I want to set up my iPhone just to have your reaction for these people.
Josh is he's the third mic. Usually, we can't do 5 mics
We
here.
couldn't do 5 mics.
So the producer I'm closest to is a white dude. His name's Henry, and he goes, I going to defer to John. So John comes back. He's like, I think we could do 1 to 2 nigga an episode. You know, because now this on Prime, I can curse. They're like 1 to 2, you know, we probably advertise. You think 1 to 2 niggas is good. I'm like, all I want to do is 1 to 2 niggas in episode.
That's it. In real life, 1 to 2
Oh, I'm
niggas.
not gonna lie. You should see. We're now trying to finally monetize our YouTube, and the way they have
Y'all
to
are
edit.
trying to monetize your YouTube.
Don't do that. We get some
Well,
dollars
we
now.
get money
We
from-
get some dollars now, just a little bit.
It's gonna be
we gotta
3
come
words
out.
period, 4 words period.
We gotta. You know what's crazy? Instead, it's 3 words bleep, 4 words bleep, and for the first 7 minutes, you
Bruh.
gonna get some bleeps.
Mind you, we are from Florida, so the way that we curse does feel to me more abrasive. And it didn't hit me until I went on a Carnival cruise this week, and a woman said next to me, "This fuck nigga," and I was like, "Oh my god." But also,
Fuck nigga, pussy
I
ass
felt
nigga.
like home. I was like, "Sister."
No. The way Florida people curse is
Pussy
probably,
asshole.
we is the best cursers.
What part of
Have you
Florida?
ever? We from Orlando 407 Chopper City. Blah blah blah.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
You know, they used to call it was the murder capital for a long time.
It was.
Orlando?
Don't do that.
Yes.
It is not Disney World.
I didn't hear.
Don't play with
It's
O-Town.
kissing me.
They don't fuck around.
That is Kissimmee is not Orlando.
Oh, see, it's kissing me. I said kissing me.
That's where the Latinos are from. I know we look a certain way, but
Yes. What is y'all mixed with a bunch of things?
Not a bunch. Calm down. It's biracials over
hello,
here.
we are
Like
saying the
bisexual.
N-word. You know you gotta
We
be
are bisexual and biracial.
I was figuring. I was like, if Kevin hasn't clocked this yet, if they ain't black,
No,
we gonna
I-
have a big ass
No, I
problem.
thought mixed.
I said I'm Jamaican.
I'm the
no
one,
Jamaican.
I'm the
away.
one with a black mom, but she has a Jamaican dad, so it equals out.
Okay. And then the other one is white.
And I know that he my daddy because we had to get
The DNA.
Girl!
The
support.
Good
No,
for-
now it's getting very Florida.
She said now it's
So y'all both met in Florida?
Yeah, when we were
And then
15.
you
Oh, that's the story
decided to
that
go
she
to-
tried to give.
to go to
Because
New
she
York?
wanted to get rah-rah because I was dating her ex and she just would not let him go.
You know, we have
and
come
I'm like,
so
girl,
far. And oh, look at it. It says Mandy be a former tax accountant.
I was that.
Were you really?
I worked at EY and Goldman Sachs, if you could believe it. I have 2 degrees.
Oh, I fully believe it.
believe
yeah,
that.
yeah.
I-
I've-
I'm
Black
so
folks
glad
can
you
code
came from
switch.
up out there. We
I will
needed all
also
this.
tell you too, I was so if you guys go back to the early on Horrible Decisions, we started the podcast when I was still in college. While I was at Goldman Sachs, and then I left Goldman and went to EY. And what's crazy is you hear the pride. You hear the pride of me accomplishing 151 credits in 4 years, getting my 2 degrees, and now the way Sally Mae has impacted my credit report and I'm not using my degrees is like so like fuck. Because like everyone that I'm seeing that has degrees, it's really interesting because as millennials, we grew up with the importance of education. I'm first generation going to college. And I was so proud. And at this moment now, seeing that jobs are removing even the requirements for degrees, that sucks. I talk about in the book, my introduction is how being in perfect attendance at school I thought mattered. I thought if I did everything right, I would end up with the white picket fence, a husband, and all these things. And my life clearly took a detour.
That's church
so
girl right
the
there.
idea of thinking
That's church girl. You do all the right stuff.
you
I'm
do
supposed
all
to
the
get
right
everything
stuff,
supposed to
and
turn
that's
out right.
literally what I grew up thinking.
And
Like,
I didn't
okay,
get it, so I let you get my coochie. Since
don't
y'all-
do that.
Since y'all didn't give me the stuff. Now I got fired my coochie.
Now
'cause
I
somebody-
got open up. But yeah,
got
no, like
education.
I literally even in my abortion chapter, I talk about like because I ended up getting pregnant in my first year of having sex. But in my mind at this time, I thought, well, I get good grades, I show up, I help my mom with the household, I do all the things I'm supposed to do. Pregnancy doesn't happen to girls like me. Like that's not how the universe. God wouldn't let that happen. And I literally speak to him in that chapter because that was where I was. I'm currently not religious at all. I'm away from the church. But growing up, I literally used to think that like, okay, I'm in missions. I'm going to church with my mama. We used to go to Faith
Girl, you
World
were
in
getting the
Orlando.
badges and everything.
I used to literally believe that, well, if I do what I'm supposed to do, nothing bad is gonna happen. Pregnancy, no, I know I'm not supposed to be fucking, but pregnancy, no.
Yeah.
And it happened. And so I go through that, and what's amazing about that chapter is I got my abortion. I was 16 years old. My friend who worked at Cold Stone had to help me pay for it because my mom couldn't afford the $500 without it completely ruining the household. Like, we were always one emergency away.
Listen, that was
and
my
then
life
what?
for a long time.
one emergency away from being fucked up. Like,
depleted.
tax time was the best. What you mean, name brand cereal? We get Public subs? Like, yes. Like, ooh, we get to go to
Subs.
Olive Garden and get
Subs.
whatever we
I don't
want.
know where y'all live at.
No,
The
Publix
Public
is
subs,
legit.
no,
Yeah.
the Public subs
Yeah.
is it. So through this chapter, I specifically wanted to talk about it because after my abortion, the conversation was never had with my friend or my mom. So 17 years later, I have this conversation with how my decisions impacted them, what it meant for my mom. I talk about how I had only learned about my mom's previous abortions through that with me. So me wishing she had those conversations with me earlier. And I really get into like, that's my deepest and most proud chapter. Like, because it really connects me and my mom's relationship there.
I'm telling you what, I cannot wait to dive into this book. Where can people get and pre-order?
We know that they're a terrible company, but Amazon is one click. But the thing that's so great, so the book isn't going to arrive to your doorstep, but the master
Until June 24th.
June 24th. But
That's
the
when it comes
master
out.
course is really great. Like,
Yeah.
So for those of you that are interested in eating vagina, men listening, please go and run to this course. I give a step by step.
I brought up this master course earlier. Essentially, if you pre-order the book, we did a whole master course broken into pain, pleasure, progression, power, where each of us go into different modules.
Kev on board.
You can never be too good at what
if you guys actually go to our Instagram page, it's Decisions. There's a link that says Google Form. After you pre-order the book, which I believe is $28.99.
$26.99.
Oh, it's on sale right now on Amazon, but I don't know about. I'm going to urge you to purchase from a Black-owned, queer-owned, or woman-owned local bookstore because we do want to diversify where everyone is getting their books, but also support local bookstores. But basically, once you buy it, get the receipt in your email, upload it to the Google form that you guys see on our Instagram, and you'll automatically get a one-time code to access the course completely free.
Okay.
So the course there's a workbook in it that helps you how to get over breakups. I teach you BDSM 101 as well as take you through the dungeon and teach you other things.
You've got a course about money.
Wheezy has a course about
That's
money as
my
well as sitting with a
favorite.
matchmaker.
I know a lot of people may not know who we are or what we do. You can Google, you can click on an IG.
No,
but-
don't Google me. I be talking shit. There's a lot of.
Oh, well, I mean,
No,
we
I'm just
own
like, you
multiple
can Google us.
businesses. I've got multiple brick and mortars, and Mandy was an accountant. We've learned so much about money throughout the course of being entrepreneurs that I felt I had to do a money course.
That's dope.
Like, even, my money course was actually inspired by having a sugar daddy. Because I had a sugar daddy, and I was like, I know this is going to end one day. What the fuck do I do with this money? And even today, 10 years later, I'm still teaching my friends how to allocate savings, how to invest. So we really loved doing this course.
Yeah, it was
You
fun.
have a course on how to get a sugar daddy. I'm about to sneeze.
Oh, I put a little bit in there in the money course too.
Okay, great.
I
So
talk
you
about where
guys
to
can
find
get
them.
that, but the book is available wherever you purchase books. I love this because it's obvious your audience reads. I didn't know
My
about.
wife got a book. My wife has a book club.
Come on,
Well, you got
shit.
your book.
We need to do something like book clubby.
Yeah.
Where we're like.
She has
She's about to
Melissa's
be
book
here.
booth.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Let's see what
minutes.
you can read. Pick a page.
Oh,
Kev.
so this is a fun
we
game.
bugged
Before
it
we
to y'all, too.
before we get out of here, pick a number between 1 and 274. I believe that's the last. Pick a number, and she's gonna read a sentence out the book just so you
This
can
is
see
a great
where
idea.
it gets.
Okay, 30. Go ahead, Angel.
I'm going to go with 55.
People pick that. I think that's.
Yep.
Oh, the first pussy I ever tasted was this gorgeous Dominican woman. Everything a video vixen would look like and what the IG bitches want, nah. I think she pulled the gay out of me.
There's
really?
Yeah.
Swear to God.
She just wrote. We talk a little bit like us. Damn.
I love this.
Okay,
I think she pulled the gay out of me.
Your turn to pick a number.
We was up to 274.
Uh-huh.
Go high.
171.
Hold on, I'll read this one. 171. Okay.
Oh, perfect.
I electrocuted my coochie this morning.
Oh, this one is a dark one.
Okay, you know what?
Yep.
28. 28.
I mean, I can. Yeah. Let's do this one's. That one's a dark
28,
chapter.
28. Let's go.
Oh, 228's a really interesting one too,
There we
though.
go. 228.
It's not. Oh, look, a husband that likes to hold his legs up and get his ass eaten. First line.
Wait, is it? Oh, it is.
Perfect.
Hold on. Wait. We start from the page before. Hold on. You ready? That one reads, I was never jealous of their position in a man's life. Here they were, being lied to, cheated on, and completely unaware that their husband likes to hold his legs up and get his ass eaten. She's home taking care of the kids while I'm jumping off the back of a yacht in the Caribbean, trying the freshest of ceviches and taking back tequila shots. This is my chapter about being a side chick.
I was about to say, you were a side chick?
I was a proud side chick.
Oh my God.
So I talk about
we were selling them, Mandy. I fucked it up.
Well, I grew from that, and I talk about I talk about self-worth and how I really didn't think that I could be anything more than a number 2.
Evolution.
It's about growth.
She was like, wait, because I can see
Progression.
the now.
You know, we got the P. That was the progression chapter.
Yes, that was
Love
from the
this.
progression chapter. Thank you guys so much for
Welcome.
having
This
us.
has been
So
Weezy
great.
and Mandy. No holds barred. Go to it's _ decisions.
Yes, _ decisions.
On the Instagram and pre-order the book. I just pre-ordered the book. I support all Black authors.
Thank you.
If you're not going to go to Target, then go somewhere else, please.
I'm really not going there.
Don't go to Target, but go to what'd you say? Local.
Local black-owned,
queer-owned.
queer-owned, and woman-owned bookstores.
And literally
Yeah,
to support
Reparations
them,
is one in
you
LA.
could just Google a black-owned bookstore and order from there.
Yeah, they all gonna mail it to you.
If you
no matter
don't
where
feel
you order
like
from, they
doing
gonna mail it
that,
to you.
just buy the book.
Yeah, and I really love it too. If you guys follow us, we'll update you soon. But the first week that our book drops, we are going to be literally going and doing book signings and talks about our book the first week. So like we're doing Uncle Bobby's in Philly. We're still working on locking down the DC and New York venues, but we'll be up and down the East Coast as well as Atlanta that first week. And then you guys can
be
also,
taking over Atlanta while I'm
Can I
trying
come
to
do
do
y'all
LA.
podcast
Yeah.
for my book?
hell yeah.
Duh.
Y'all gonna book, where do y'all book shoot at?
We're going to be like,
But-
what page? Where's the ass?
So we do.
They've already
so
booked
wait,
you.
no,
Book
yeah, but
them
we're
out.
we do here, we do Atlanta, and we do New York.
Okay,
so.
I'll do one of those. My book comes out in September, so we can
Okay,
both
so you
do
got
it.
time because they only
You have
do
plenty of
August.
time,
Yeah.
and then we'll make sure we drop it when it
Yeah.
like makes sense for your book for
Someone
sure.
said this is up there with the church episode.
Oh,
Listen,
wait, they
this
like
This
these.
is a fun episode.
It was.
I
This
had a
was
great
unlike
time.
No,
any
this-
other episode we've
Y'all about
ever
to be-
done.
Can I also
Open.
say too, shout out to your audience. They've been really listening, inquisitive, dropping facts, like sharing their own stories in the chat.
We got good
This
The
is
benefit
incredible.
of having an audience
I know, I wanna
who
look-
is
look
our
at it.
age.
Uh-huh.
If they didn't like it, they already left.
Yeah, they
and
know
that's
how to
okay.
leave.
And what I said in the beginning of this wasn't to shame you. Like, we don't.
No, we stayed at 1.2 like the whole
Yeah,
time.
it's not. Some people don't like certain stuff. If this ain't your cup of tea, we'll be back next time. We'll be back.
back.
No,
regular.
this was great.
Or the bonus
Next time.
episode, we'll be talking about.
Talk about it.
Well, actually, let me ask y'all this before we close. This
Okay.
is what I was going to title the episode, but I'm not going to anymore.
Okay.
Did y'all see the woman who ghosted the man because he got drunk and rode the mechanical bull?
I saw you talk about it on your
Okay.
pod. I'm not mad at that.
How was he
Not
riding
mad at
it?
her. Nobody knows.
No, but she said specifically, he went like this, like he was.
Oh,
right.
because I'm going to
And
be
she
honest
said,
with you. I don't
want
think
no-
that's weird unless you. So me and my nigga was drunk. We was in
Nope.
Thailand. I'm like, how long you going to last? I'm going to do this. Like, it was just drunk shit.
If
Yeah.
I am
But
on a
if he
date,
got his ass up there and started to do a little twirl,
Why? But real
gotta
cowboys do that. That's to keep their
Okay,
balance.
how are you?
so
Are you
here-
throwing it back?
So it depends. Here's the thing. Even though I like to play in male butt, I like men to be very masculine. And there's nothing masculine about a man getting on a bull.
not true.
To me, I'm saying to me,
is where it brought-
I like very masculine men. I don't want to see you ride anything better than I do, and I don't even ride.
Yeah, I get it.
I don't even ride.
You
Maybe
sexualizing it.
I am, and so
And
that's why
that's
it's
if he
not
does it
masculine.
sexy.
It's not
If
sexy
the
to me.
nigga can't get up there, and I'm gonna be honest with you, every dude that got up there, and he really was some drunk. Like, we're on a beach, they got all this dumb shit going on, PP Islands, whatever, PP shows. So the dudes, for some reason, they were able to last longer because they've got a better grip.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they like riding that.
Somebody
Somebody
said,
said-
but
Like
he,
Shabuzi look like he get up on him.
somebody said, but he wanted to say, wee. And see, that's when,
did.
That's when,
That's where you get
I'm never
off.
seeing you
I
again, and I'm
understood.
ghosting you playing.
All right, y'all. Thank y'all so much, Mandy and Weezy. Please follow them. Or tell them where they can find you.
Y'all can follow me everywhere at Full Court Pumps.
I'm Weezy WTF.
And then listen to us every Monday, Decisions.
Decision. All right, we'll see you guys. Bonus episode. We'll drop it in Patreon when we'll do it. And then we'll regular episode next week. God bless you. God keep you. See you at the conference. Also, summer hours are coming up.
They
Just so
coming
you
up.
know, you got like 4 weeks left. So if you're not on the Patreon, you finna be missing out because we going on vacation.
Come on vacation.
Except for the Patreon for about 5 weeks, 5 or 6 weeks between late June and August. We're gonna live our life. Angel's birthday. We got Essence. We got a whole bunch of work, travel, and the kids go back to school. God bless you. God keep you. We'll see you at the conference. Peace.
Here's another banger for you. Here's another one, yeah. Here's another banger for ya. Here's another one, yeah. Here's another banger for ya. Here's another banger for ya. With my boy Kev on stage and that chick Angel.